on the focus on Saudi Arabia, of course, how economic transformation will fast-track investment in renewables. Tremendous interest, and we're delighted that you're all here to join us for this. We have two wonderful panels to actually kick this off. And at the very helm here to make sure that we're on track, a gentleman who knows a lot about Saudi Arabia, has put a lot of effort and energy and tremendous study into looking at exactly what's going on there. He will guide us through the proceedings. So I want you to give a very warm welcome now to a partner from McKinsey, Tarek Al Said. Tarek, please, if we can have you take the stand here. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Saudi Arabia Country Focus. As His Excellency Mr. Khalid Faleh, Minister of Energy, Industry and Mineral Resources, reminded us yesterday, Saudi Arabia has charted an ambitious vision for 2030. Achieving this vision will require a transformation in all areas of the economy. The power and water sectors, in particular, are undergoing significant transformation towards more sustainability through energy diversification, increased efficiency, and increase in private sector participation. Today, we have with us three of the leaders of these sectors into Saudi Arabia to talk to us about this transformation. His Excellency Ali Al-Hazmi, Governor of Saline Water Conversion Corporation, Mr. Osama Khawandana, Energy Trading and Ventures Senior Vice President in Saudi Electricity Company, and last but not least, Mr. Thamir Al-Sharhan, Managing Director of ACWA Power, to have both the public sector and the private sector perspective to this transformation. I would like to ask you to welcome them to this place. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us today. Let me maybe start with asking you, Your Excellency, what is the largest desalination entity in the world doing to enable the Vision 2030 in Saudi Arabia?
Can you hear me? I don't think
no.
Speaker. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon to everyone. It's my pleasure to be in this forum. I really appreciate those who organize such marvelous, terms of using renewable energy and also utilizing it with respect to reducing our emission to the atmosphere. In SWIC, with respect to our 2030 vision of Saudi Arabia, I want to focus on what are we doing in the water sector. So if I start with respect to design and efficiency, we have just what you call commissioned the biggest plant in the world, which is Ras Al Khair. It produces around 1,025,000 cubic meters per day. The efficiency of this plant is almost 55%. So comparing to what we used to have in the past, which is almost less than 30%, the majority of our desalination plants. So this is one thing with respect to the design, and we are proud. Now it's been operating almost 2 years, and it is operating efficiently, and it's delivering also a power of almost 2,400 megawatt daily. So this is something we are really proud, and we are focusing in the future to ensure that we get the best design that has less consumption of energy and also produces the highest, with the utilizations of the latest technology and reducing the emission to the atmosphere. Now, with respect to the current organizations, we have about 29 plants that exist in both western and east coast of Saudi Arabia, and some of these plants is almost 30 years old. We are working with our team with respect to what we call operational excellence, and the pillars for the operational excellence, it focuses on four. The first one is HSE, which is basically safety and security and health and the environment of the organization. So we have established a roadmap that in the next 3 years we will be able to bring it from where it is today to the best-in-class level that is considered globally. So we have also connected with the benchmarking company that's really famous, that they are going to be working with us very soon to ensure that we are going in the right direction. And plus, we have, with respect to the operational excellence, we looked at the current organization in terms of availability, in terms of mechanical availability, in terms of utilizations. We have agreed on the roadmap only for 2017. We will increase the availability by 11%. We will increase the utilizations of our plant by 13%. And the work is already started with respect to each plant. And we see today, for the last 2 months, we see improvement from our people in all over the kingdom, that we want to produce more water with the same amount of energy. And this is one. The second important thing with our, if you like to call it, key performance indices, we are also working to reduce our OPEX. And our OPEX, we have agreed to reduce it, and it is based on modeling and calculated, if you like, figures. It's not only a number that we came and brought from the air. It's about 20%. Before the year end, we will reduce our operating expense. So this is only the beginning for 2017. We see an area of improvement also with respect to reliability of the plants. We also see an improvement, an area with respect to our key capital, which is basically the HR. And we are working very hard to develop our people based on what you call the latest standard that is available in the industry, particularly certifications for our operators and technicians and engineers. So, and then more importantly is to establish a sustainable system, a structured sustainable system that we will not drop the ball years from today. So it will create the environment of continuous improvement with respect to other parameters. Particularly, we want to operate safely and cost effectively. And then the last one, actually, or maybe I can address 2 issues. The other issue we are also working currently is to align with our 2030 vision, is to go for privatization. So we have also a team working very hard to bring the business model to be approved by the decision maker before end of March. And that is also will be available for those who are interested to take the opportunity to, partner with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia with respect to the water desalination sector. So that also will be announced before end of March. And we are also, for any new plants, which we have few plants now is coming from 2017, and we should finish this because of demand before 2022 or 23rd, so 3 to 5 years from today. We are going 100% with the IWPP, which is a private investor, and also it will be announced within the next 3 months. Some of them already been connected. We connected with the private sector for investment. So anything new, we will go for privatizations. The brownfield, we are preparing it to go for privatization. So we're working in parallel. Then the last issue I like to address, we have one of the best institutions with respect to desalination research center. So we have ideas that has been proven that it is our patent, and it has been tested. We are going to go for higher scale. When I say higher scale, we're talking about 20,000 cubic meter per day production, and we will announce this very soon. So we are also encouraging our R&D center not to work alone. We want to make sure that our partners internationally and locally, particularly King Abdulaziz institution of life science and technology, or City of Science and Technology, and King Abdullah University of Science and Technology. We are going to work together to ensure that the effort is being, 100% is going in the right direction, where we can see in the future benefits for every effort we do on the R&D. Not only doing a research, we need to focus where we can see benefit from this research. So this is basically what we are doing today, and if there is any other thing based on the other questions we'll be addressing. Maybe one more thing with respect to renewable energy. In Al-Khafji today, there is a plant is being built by King Abdulaziz Science and King Abdulaziz City Science and Technology, in coordination with us. Our team is working with them, and it will be up and running. It's 60,000 cubic meter per day. It will be expected in the third quarter of this year to be commissioned. So that's with respect to solar energy. And that's it if you have any other questions.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for this great overview. Moving now to Saudi Electricity Company. Engineer Usama, what role is SEC playing to support the energy transition in the kingdom in general?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I'm very pleased to be with you here today. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to point out that ECC is playing a major role in the transition of the electricity sector, and we could categorize that in three factors. One of them is the increased generation efficiency. The second one, increase the private sector participation. The third one is to have robust rollout program for renewables. If I would like to speak about generation efficiency, right now, ECC, its own fleet stand at 35.5% of efficiency. If we add up IBB and IWBs, this will become around 38.75. Now the target for the 2030 vision is around 40%. And this is 2030, but at ECC we are accelerating this, and we are going to achieve this by 2020, 40%. This means that we will save around 208 million barrels of equivalent of fuel, 208. This is a large amount. This is being accelerated from 2030 to 2020. Also, we have been upgraded the Goraya power plant. It is now 54%. Also coming up in March 2017, IBB, Al Murjan IBB, which is the first one maybe in Saudi Arabia to reach 58%. So this is in the generation efficiency. Also, we have programs that we will decommission and retire inefficient power plants. Also, we are converting right now. We started actually this program about 5 years ago. We are converting our open cycle, simple cycle to combined cycle. And this will increase, of course, the generation efficiency. And all future generation also will be a combined cycle, so we will have more efficient operation. All in all this work in harmony with 2030 vision. Regarding the private sector participation, ACC has a very successful track record. We started about 10 years ago our program. Now, the private sector participation stands around 20,000 megawatt, which is a huge portion of the total available capacity. And this will continue also for the next future, that all projects, generation project, will be an IBB. Maybe this is something that new, that all future project will be an IBB project. IBB could be also IWBs, but mainly will be IBBs. So private sector has a great chance now to participate not only in the conventional, which I mentioned, also as the minister yesterday mentioned about the 10 giga renewable, so they will have the chance to participate in the conventional and in the renewable. On the renewable front, ACC has constructed 2 projects in Green Diba and Wa'ad al-Shamal. Green Diba is integrated solar, and for Wa'ad al-Shamal also integrated solar, both of them around 100 megawatt. Also, we will be supporting the national program for renewables, and our support comes into different fronts. First, we could do many things regarding pre-development of the project, like we do grid study, the impact on the grid. We do also the interconnection studies and feasibility studies. So this is on the pre-development. Once the project starts, also we will ensure that these projects are run as a must-run. So as you know, renewables are not dispatchable because as they come, the system operator is with us here, he must take it. So this will give it a priority, which means this is a good assurance to lenders, for example, that their full protection of all these projects will be taken by ACC and through PPAs. This is all I have now. So if you have some more questions.
Thank you very much for this. Maybe a question. Yesterday, His Excellency Minister mentioned power trading opportunities.
Yes.
Could you tell us a bit more about this?
Yes. Power trading, actually, we are already connected with GCC countries, all GCC. This is operational. So we have 2 types of trading. One, we call it in cash, and we have very big transaction that we did from June to September. And it was a win-win situation for both member states. And also we having as in-kind trading. Like, despite the fact that somebody might say this is for the Gulf, you have the same load profile, but we do not have the same production cost. So there is a great opportunity now to exchange the power in cash and in kind.
Thank you very much for this.
Okay.
So let us maybe hear now the perspective of the private sector. So we're talking about increasing the private sector participation, Thamer. What do we need to do to make it happen? What are the enablers that are required to increase the participation of the private sector?
Do you hear me well now? Good, okay. I honestly do not know where to start, but let me try to cover it as much as possible. But private sector are very good on managing risk, allocating risk, and managing to get the best tariff with the highest technology solution. To enable this, to make sure that the private sector can play a role in the transformation. If you go to the transformation program or you read the Vision 2030, it focuses more about competition. I think I read the word competition probably 20, 25 times in the document. When you read the competition, that means it is not a single player. There are more than one player to enhance competition. So the private sector need to make sure that we have a proper regulation, there is proper transparency, there is proper open market so we can compete. Again, the private sector are very well, and they can look at the different aspects of the business and can measure their risk and come up with the best solution. But if you keep it untransparent, without fairness, then it is very difficult for any private sector to come into the market. I can tell you with Aqua Power, and I will use a word that I have I heard when I came to the via to Abu Dhabi. The pilot was saying we will arrive on time. We have a tailwind. For Aqua Power to work with Saudi Arabia, there is a front wind. So it was not easy, and you need to make sure that to encourage other private sectors, then you need to have it more fair. And I will just give you an example, or many examples, on how the private sector are good in pushing the envelope. And I look at Aqua Power right now. I will take only the experience in Saudi Arabia. I'm not going to talk about Aqua Power experience outside, where we really managed to set the base for the prices of energy. And I still remember last year when talking about the PV of Liwa and what have happened to prices later on, and the CSP at Morocco. But let me talk about Saudi Arabia. Aqua Power have started with the largest RO unit at Shugaik, just much higher than any other plants. We have installed the largest desalination plant on a barge. We have initiated the largest MED unit into the IWPP model. And also, it's not only on the technology, we managed to bring the price down. Aqua was the first company to introduce Chinese contractor for the power plant. So for me, I think the main enabler for the market, you need to allow the market to be free out of the monopoly and to allow to have an open competition. Without competition and without clear regulation and real enforced regulation. And I look at Dr. Abdullah, I hope that he has all the power to really make a transformation in the market. I have been hearing about transforming the market for the last 6-7 years. I am very optimistic for 2017. I think with this transformation program, things will move forward. But again, you need to make sure that you have a transparent, fair, and open competition. And competition is not one player. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this. Thank you. Maybe going back to Your Excellency, you mentioned briefly the solar water desalination project. Can you tell us more about this? Is solar desalination the future, or is this a dream?
I don't want to say it's a dream. It is now we're talking about reality. This plant is being thought of in the last maybe few years. It's been under construction since a year and a half, and it will finish, as we talked about it earlier, ready for commissioning according to the plan we have today, the third quarter of this year. And whether now in terms of cost efficiency, that is something remain to be seen. When we go through the commissioning, we will be looking at every part of the equation, and based on the result of this one, we will for sure enhance it and make sure that it is going to be competitive to the conventional fossil fuel. So there's a lot of effort from our side, as well as the King Abdulaziz, who's our partner, and we are very optimistic that it will be very successful.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Engineer Osama, what are the business opportunities what are some of the business opportunities that you believe will become available to the private sector in the energy services area as part of this transformation?
For energy services companies, ISCOs, I guess there is a great opportunity. The more we moved into commercial tariff, this would be make their investment very viable. Let me explain more in details. The more the tariff becomes commercial, the more the savings. These companies will come to commercial and industrial customers. They will make, for example, an audit, and they will tell the customer how to save, where to save, and they are willing to invest money to make to make savings, and they will share these savings with the customer. So it is a win-win situation for the private sector and the customers. But the most important thing is the tariff becomes more commercial, so the saving will be higher and will be the motive for people to invest money and expect the return of their capital and the return on capital. So both, once we move toward the commercial tariff, I emphasize This is a requirement for these companies to flourish. Now, many companies try to do business for ISCOs, but the tariff was so low that will not have an incentive for them. But as we know now, the tariff is moving toward the commercial tariff, and we think there is a great opportunity for private sector.
Thank you for that. Tamer, given the success that ACWA Power had also beyond Saudi Arabia, would love to hear your perspectives on the opportunities and the challenges that a Saudi energy private player faces outside of the kingdom also.
Okay, when ACWA decided when the opportunity inside Saudi Arabia diminished, okay, the board and the owner of the company, they have very clear vision, and they wanted to continue growing the company. So the decision was taken to find opportunity outside the country. And it was not an easy journey, like any company. As a matter of fact, if I don't see it it was more challenging. Many of the Saudi companies, an exception of, if you exclude Saudi Aramco and SABIC, you don't see a major investment of Saudi in industry outside the world. So there is no good track record, or there is no experience into that. So it was very difficult. So ACWA has to really maneuver and select target market where we started establishing our experience and background. And each of the country has its own risk. So we started by making acquisition just to make sure that we have experience international. And I think we did 2 acquisitions. The first one was Sichco, which we started having in addition to our experience or the base plants in Saudi Arabia with desalination and the combined cycle. We gone and build credential outside. At the same time, ACWA has been very resilient competitor. We have really high stamina to make sure that we send a right message outside. So it was very difficult into entering into any market, and I have to give the credit to our development team who managed to craft the deal, which make it very attractive so we can win the international arena. And gradually, with the hard work, we're trying to resolve each of the problem separately and show to the client ACWA Power real value. And what we operate, the way we operate, we are not a passive investor. We are not only a developer. We take our business seriously, and as soon as we enter into the market, we found that market which we are operating in, we really demonstrate a clear partnership. That's why you see that if we enter into any of the markets, we grow very quickly because we demonstrate our difference with other players. So it was not an easy. We had to work with a lot of initiative to make sure that we deliver. It's not only a good technical solution, not only a lower price, but also commitment to the local content in the area we are working, into the CSR, being part of the community we are operating there. And we foster this information and knowledge which we are getting from the different countries.
Great. Our time is getting close to its end, but I'm sure that a lot of people are keen to ask questions. So would love to maybe take 1 or 2 questions from the audience before closing. Yes, there.
Any questions? We have one over here. I'll be right with you, sir. Thank you. Excuse me. Oh, we got a few people over on this side, do we? Okay.
Thank you. I don't know who could answer this question, but does anyone know if in Saudi Arabia you're going to see access to grid and feed-in tariff soon?
So it's a question on the renewable energy program. Maybe you want to.
The gentleman said about access to the grid. I guess there is a system issued by ICRA. The system is transmission user system. This system allows you to, for example, if you have a production site, a loading site, to transfer the power, provided that you own the two sites 100%. The reason for this, because right now we have a cross-subsidy tariff. If we allow open access to the transmission system, this means there would be a cherry picking. Cherry picking means that we'll leave ECC with certain customers that need subsidy and other customers profitable like industrial or commercial. I hope I clarify for you.
And we have one more here, Tarek.
Hi. My name is Ayad Al-Amri. A question to His Excellency, Governor of SWCC. Two questions. Question number one is related to the brownfield privatizations. When we can see the first, what is the plan for the brownfield privatizations, and when we expect the first privatizations of first GenCos, a group of GenCos will be announced? That's the first question. The second one, we see a great work done and is ongoing for the improving the HSE and the performance and operation. At the same time, there is a clear plan for privatizing the sector. So that means the private sector will come and buy this asset. So what is the main objective of putting the energy in that, into that area? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Both questions are valid. The first question, as I mentioned, with respect to the brownfield, according to our plan, the roadmap has already been approved by our minister. It will be the first, the business model will be announced by, as I mentioned, end of March. We are hoping to finish the privatization less than 2 years for the brownfield. So, and it will be shared with all competitors. It will be fair for everybody once we have things approved with respect to the business model. Your talk about why we are doing all the improvements, I disagree with you. We have to, it is at the end of the day, it is the kingdom money. We have to make sure that every penny that goes to the operation or the OPEX or the capital, it should go in the right direction. So we improve the safety of our people. It's one of the, if you like to call, this is a part of our vision and part of our objective is to maintain the safety of the plant, safety of our people, equally important to the production, to do it in the cost-effective way. This is the way we are agreeing to do it, and I hope the competitors will be pleased to see the plant when they take it in the future from us. It is in a better shape than they expected. And that will help, you know, it will be a win-win situation where if we go for evaluation, it will be in the right side for the kingdom and the same thing for the investors. So we are doing our exercise not to wait until things get worse. We want to improve it so we can, everybody, see quality in terms of, like an example I gave you with respect to reducing our OPEX, it will make life easy for the investor in the future in terms of the number of people who's working there, the quality of the people who's working there, the people who are leading it are the top notch, that they will not let go. This is our challenge. So we are going to be up to it and we will meet. I hope I answered your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for this. I think our time is finished. Thank you for giving us a very practical view of how the sector is transforming and what it will need to do to achieve this very ambitious vision for the country. Thank you very much.